Well, that could have went a lot worse than it did. I am on my way right now to Indiana, Hoosier Park. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar with the area like me and have to follow a GPS, 5 hours. 5 hours from the Meadows to Indiana. And, I miss so much our clients not being able to come to the track. And Greg was able to get to the track today from Philadelphia to the Meadows. Greg Schoner drove all the way here. He was able to stand over in the grandstand. Kirby was here today because Globetrotting was here. And it was great to catch up with Greg, and I talked to him for quite a while. And he asked me, he says, man, why are you going to Indiana? Like, you don't need to go there. And I said, well, yeah, I kind of do. The reason that Spirit of Dio was here today is the same reason that I'm going to Indiana. Do I want to drive 5 hours down the highway, past a bunch of cornfields to Anderson, Indiana, and race there? I like racing in Indiana. It's a beautiful track. No, I wish I didn't have to go, but I do. People can say what they want about the stable. They can say what they want about myself or my wife, but they can't say that I didn't put in the best effort I could all the time. Now, likely going to need my little friend here today at some point, and when as soon as I come off the track, adrenaline's still pumping a bit, I'm going to drive back this way. I'm going to stop in Columbus, stay overnight in Columbus. Now, Captain's Maid did need a driver tomorrow, but it doesn't need to be me. I don't need to drive Captain's Maid, especially when there's another McDonald with 3 times as much money made, an infinite amount of more wins than I do, made, and ready to drive Captain's Maid. So my brother Mark, my younger, uglier, richer brother Mark, is going to drive Captain's Maid tomorrow at the Meadows in race 1, because I don't have to be here until race 11. So it gives me all the time in the world. I was going to sleep in, but I know I won't. I'm going to get up and get my hair cut. This musty mop. I'm going to get up and get that haircut tomorrow. And then I'm going to go to the Meadows and then go to Northfield Park tomorrow night. Now, in regards to today, I had mentioned briefly that we were looking at some babies to purchase. And a couple of our clients who I spent some time with down here, Alan Swain and Bill Donnelly, went to the sale. There was another there. Alan has a trainer down here, Danny, very nice man, I'm sure. He looked at a couple of babies. There was only really 3 I was looking at. One was Steve Bateson. I know he watches these videos. Steve Bateson's horse. We bid on your horse today. An Uncle Peter horse. Now, this particular colt was beautiful. He was blind in one eye, though, which really didn't bother me. But he ended up going for... Good for you, Steve. He went for more money than we were willing to pay for him. We didn't get him. There was a Wishing Stone sibling to Carry Big Stick. Now, you guys know Carry Big Stick hasn't been a great horse for us. Hasn't made it anywhere near the races, but I love his attitude and I love his work ethic, and I always look for horses that want to work, horses that are workers. And this was a very correct, well put together Wishing Stone. I think it was a filly. I had Alan and Bill go and make a video and take some pictures of the horse for me. We didn't get her. She went for 12.5, and then they had picked out a beautiful long tom colt that was actually well bred. I'm interested in first crop sires, you know that. So we were going to bid on the long tom, but I doubt Bill even got his hand up. He ended up going for like $19,000. So it's good, although we get shut out because they went for a little too much money. I'm glad that the sales were a little strong, and I know there's a lot of breeders out there that are at least happy with the results today. They won't be happy until their horses are sold and their checks are cashed, but it was a good day for horse racing. I think a good start to the sale season. Not the start we wanted. I wanted to steal and drag home 3 horses for next to nothing. Instead, we got none, but that's okay. We have a lot of horses to look at. I did secure my appointment to look at some babies at Dublin Valley this Thursday. So if there's anybody in the Ohio, Pennsylvania area, or if you want to drive, I'm going out to look at a number of babies out at a farm called Dublin Valley. We had bought some horses from them last year. They raised their horses well. They look nice. And I want to go out and see Joe and his setup south of Ohio. And if my maps look proper, which they may not, I'm not really Christopher Columbus, but if they look proper, it looks like Marvin Raber's farm, and I haven't talked to Marvin yet, but his farm is close-ish, I think, to Dublin Valley. So maybe I'll call him and I'll slide out there. So we didn't get any baby stay. I get to the Meadows. West 52nd. You know West 52nd, right? It's not... The trip he went today isn't his trip. He doesn't race like that. Float out, drop in, quarter move, control the pace, let somebody grind up into his grill, put them away and hold on to win. That's not West 52nd, nor has it ever been West 52nd. But you can see the maturity of this horse. And there's nothing better than seeing a horse do something he's never done before and do it well. I was in a bad spot. Same spot I got trapped into with Globetrotting. You know, you float out, you want to get away behind somebody you can follow, or close enough you can remove to the front. In between is not where you want to be. That's where I was with Globetrotting. I put her in a bad spot today. We'll talk about that in a minute. West 52nd, I knew I didn't want to push hard to the lead at the quarter. That was going to be too costly. And usually when you fire him up, he doesn't relax. He doesn't settle. So I just let him saunter over into the 4-hole. As soon as I saw the brakes start to be tapped, out I come. Clear to the front. I knew Mike would be waiting for me. We were the favorite. I clear to the front. The 9 horse has been out the whole way. I can see in the TV coming to the half that it looks where he's at on the track. He's been out the whole way. So he comes up alongside me. He's got the earplugs out. At this point, I don't know what West 52nd is going to do. Historically, he would cave. He would get beat. He'd be like, that wasn't his trip. But he was quiet. He was calm. Halfway down the backstretch, it was just like Seabiscuit, except nothing like Seabiscuit. He rolled right up alongside me, and West 52nd was still quiet. His earplugs are out, mine are in. And he just seems calm. Halfway around the last turn, I look over. We're in good shape. It was eerily similar to Stonebridge Simba yesterday. Come to the top of the lane, I kicked the earplugs out, and West 52nd trotted as hard as he could to the wire. Now, this is important. It was 33 degrees Celsius. Now, you put me on the spot here. I don't know. It was hot as hell. Hotter. What I tell somebody, it's hotter than the inside of a cow. My uncle told me that one time, and I thought about it. I laughed all day. It's hotter than the inside of a cow today at the Meadows. And West 52nd raced not the most impressive mile on paper or to watch in his life, but for me, somebody who knows him intimately well, it was the best mile of his life. For him to do what he did today showed a large step forward in his maturity mentally as a horse. Yeah, he's a 4-year-old, but people have to understand, trotters especially, they mature at odd ages, and this is why it's important for horses that can be good, look like they have talent and have something to offer moving forward, to give them that opportunity. I don't want to be everybody, there's probably clients out there that think that I'm just being surgical and just cutting everything. That cannot do right now. That isn't it. There's a lot that goes into the decision making when it comes to who stays and who goes, especially recently. But West 52nd staying with us was important, and I was so happy to see that horse do his work today. Now we got a little bit of a problem. He fits the same classes as Stonebridge Simba. It's only one a week. So someone's got to go. We're not going to let them have a death match. We'll find a spot for somebody. Somebody messaged me today in regards to White Tiger. I'll talk about him in a minute. Saying, can he go to Plain Ridge? The open there goes for pretty good money. Maybe not him just yet, but we might have somebody. Greg, doing his homework, said there's a class for him at the Poconos. Lots of classes for good horses like him. So West 52nd will find himself somewhere likely, or Simba, one or the other. But Simba fits so good in that class. We'll probably, if he had a 1 yesterday, that would have alleviated all the issue we had, but he just got beat. So we might wait a week also. We'll see. This is a conversation that I'm going to let this absorb, talk it out with Tim, and think about it and then figure it out. So West 52nd was awesome. I come out the track with Globetrotting. She's been so good lately. You guys have no idea how Jason has this filly so good. And to understand, she's got a lot of little problems that have made big problems. And now we've chopped away, polished up, cleaned up, and cooled out all the semi-major problems. And now we know where they've all come from, right? And there's just a number of little issues with Globetrotting, and Jason had her so good today. I felt bad. I knew out of the gate I was in trouble. I didn't want to come hard at the quarter, clear to the front, and have bottom her out and have somebody pick me off at the wire. I just didn't want to do that, and that probably wouldn't have happened watching the race shape up the way it did. Today. I ended up fourth going into the first turn. I didn't want to leave her and put her on the run in the first turn. That was my first mistake. Then I don't move her at the quarter pole. Mistake number 2. And she couldn't correct the mistakes I made. Had I left a little harder, pushed through, stuffed Dan in behind me, Dan Rawlings in behind me, let Aaron go, saunter over the half slow, I think I'm a winner. I have to believe I'm a winner. Instead, I didn't leave as hard as I could. I got put in a bad spot. I waited as long as I could, and I wasn't going to move, but if you look right before I moved, Aaron just really put me in a tough spot. He kept backing in and backing in and backing in. He was just fishing me out. And then when I come, she meant business. I said, oh, we'll see how good this horse is on the front end. This is a 5-year-old. She was good. She was really good. So, gave me all I wanted and then some. But the thing, I didn't want to race Globetrotting like that, but at the same time, she showed so much grit today. She's brimming with confidence. If she's a winner today, it would have been a big mile, but she just felt so good. She's trotting comfortable now. She's really good right now. Do I wish I had been second over, pounced on them, winning 54, and going into 10 days or 11 days from now, going into that final like that? Yeah, I do. And I think that's my fault. Didn't leave, didn't come at the quarter pole. 2 mistakes that even Globetrotting couldn't erase for me. So that's my fault. But she pulled up great. She was sharp after the race. She knows she's feeling good now. I just got to get her a good trip. We need a good draw and a good trip in the final, and she's as good as any horse in Ohio. I am absolutely certain of it. I know Pete Wren's filly's real good. I know Burke's filly's really good. That's a tall order. And who cares? If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I think if I get a draw, get a trip, I'm as good as any horse in Ohio right now with Globetrotting. I believe I am. So happy with her. Then I was a little bit on pins and needles until I warmed up Spirit of Dio. If you would have asked me after I warmed her up, how would she be? I would have said, she's going to win. I'm certain of it. And that isn't arrogance. That's just me knowing the filly. Now, Tim had told me after that she must have been digging and fooling around in the trailer, loosened 3 of her shoes up, lost her hind shoe in the warm-up. Blacksmith tightened the shoe up. Don't know if he tightened them all up because the right front shoe came flying off at the quarter pole. If you watch, you might be able to see it. If you rewind it before the quarter pole, maybe 5-10 pylons before the quarter pole. Are you going to get in there, fella? About 5 or 10 pylons before the quarter pole, shoe comes off. The way she was trotting, I didn't care, and it didn't matter. I was pretty certain after looking at the lines, looking at the body language of the horses on the track in the warm-up, the post-parade, I knew when I moved her and cut her loose. Unless something was seriously wrong that didn't appear to me, definitely appeared to me when I watched the replays from Mohawk and watched the races, but didn't appear to me or make me feel that way at the race today. At no point from the time I went behind the gate till the time I went to the winner's circle did it even flicker in my mind that she wasn't a winner. That's how good she felt today. And I don't know why. Listen, I enjoy being wanted. I enjoy not being obsolete. How's that? Being needed sometimes and knowing that, you play a role, right? That somebody else couldn't have done your job. It appears to be the case with Spirit of Dio because we had some of James, a fantastic top world-class driver. So's Louis. Say what you want, they are. And now James got run into leaving the gate, but his track record with her I wouldn't say is sparkling. And Louis, she looked like a fish out of water with Louis, and I had no idea why. But she didn't look that way today. She was all business. I was so impressed with her. Man, oh man, I love this filly. She's just a killer. And I said to Tim after Globetrotting, I said, Globetrotting is a good filly. She's not near as physically mature, big, or strong as Spirit of Dio right yet. And although I think Globetrotting has got a ton of growing to do and a very, very bright future ahead of her, I don't know if she wants any part of Spirit of Dio today. That's not me being biased. I own 0 of Spirit of Dio. Not a share. I wish I did, but I don't. And I do of Globetrotting. I love Globetrotting. I think that, I just finished telling you, I think I can win the final with her. If I get a draw and get a trip, Spirit of Dio is just a freakishly powerful filly. And she was so, so good today. Just a great day all around. I'm really pumped and excited. Hopefully I can burn all this adrenaline off safely all the way to Indiana. It's a 5-hour drive. So no, it's about 4:20 now. About 4:20. And hopefully we can have some luck with another filly that needs it badly, which is That's My Girl. I think a filly that hasn't had any opportunity to strut her stuff or show her best racing, and we're going to give her that opportunity tonight. And then in Ontario, I'm every bit as excited to watch Northern Blizzard race. Qualified great. Mario really liked him, got along well with him in the qualifier. I'll talk about qualifiers in a minute also. But just really excited to see what's going to happen with Northern Blizzard. A horse that I've grown extremely fond of very, very quickly is So Admirable. She's in tonight also. And then we have... Oh So Pine. Oh So Pine is in tonight. Also, now backtracking to the qualifiers today, that was first and foremost in Ontario. A great qualifier from Brilliant Corners. Sort of had a rough summer without having a rough summer. One start, one win. Just seemed to be 100%, but just wasn't quite 100%. We skipped the grassroots. We actually entered him into race tonight. The class didn't go, so we put him into qualify. Sylvain said he is awesome right now. It's a horse that we needed to grow mature mentally, and certainly has. He was very happy with him today. And a new face, now Perfect Record qualified without the hobbles today. Lost a shoe in the mile, but still a little rickety. I think we'll leave the hobbles on him. And then Sweet Ambitions lost the hobbles today also. Mario went a mile and 2-2 with her. Said she was very good. So a good day at the stable so far. Hope we can keep it going into tonight. Tomorrow I have to be back at the Meadows. Yes, 5 hours back. We got our girls in tomorrow. And then I'm driving a horse for Tim in the last race. I'm excited to drive. Hopefully he has a good chance. And then tomorrow night we're at... Where are we at? Northfield Park again. So, that is it for today. A great day. A very good day for the stable. A very good day for a couple of horses that needed it. A good tightener. A bit of a miscue on my part, but a good tightener for a horse that needed it also. Things just keep rolling today. It's just a great feeling for us, for the stable, for me, for everybody today. We'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you had, it's almost impossible you had as good a day as me, but I hope you at least tried.